This podcast is made possible by supporters like you. Mahalo. And by Atlas Insurance Agency, Hawaii's largest professional agency, helping Hawaii navigate insurance solutions since 1929. More at atlasinsurance.com.
Aloha, Mike Kako. Welcome to a new episode of What School You Went? Start every conversation with that question. I'm Ron Mizutani, and today we start our third year of the audio podcasts. We're 3 years old, and we thank you for being a part of this great journey. Mahalo nui. We're doing a little pivot on the program this morning, knowing that every person has a story to share and to tell, and that story matters. We want to hear your story because you matter. And through sharing, we find purpose and motivation, sometimes hope, and many times inspiration. And it was playwright William Shakespeare who asked the question, what's in a name, in Romeo and Juliet? Shakespeare was referring to the idea that names themselves are a convenient way to distinguish things or people, but themselves do not have any worthy or meaning. What does that mean? Today, I will talk in story with a young man with one of the most unique names I've ever heard. I'm pleased to welcome Lance Threefingers to the program. Welcome to PBS Hawaii, brother.
Thanks, Ron.
Hey, good to have you here. Before we go any further, and like I ask every guest, what school you went?
I went to Punahou High School.
Oh, Punahou.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have to end this. Sorry, I never. Nah. No, Punahou. I have dear friends from Punahou and the Buff and Blue. You're a big fella. You play football?
Yeah, I played football and baseball in high school.
At Punahou?
Yeah.
You guys were any good back then?
Shoot, I don't know. We won when I was a sophomore. We won states, and then junior year close, senior year.
So, yeah, just this thing called the state championship.
Yeah, that's all.
Was that Manti's year?
No. That was when, I think Tumua was a senior or something like that when I was a sophomore.
Tumua Tune he was a pretty bad.
He was scary in the locker room. He had
linebacker
tattoos. He always looked like he was angry.
Yeah, we had him on here, and he talked about that. I mean, gosh, his dad was a great NFL player, and the lineage of the Tuine family runs deep. But today he's making folks laugh today.
I know,
and that's heal. That's food for our soul.
Yeah, amazing.
Laughter. Yeah, I'm certain, Lance. And the first time I heard your last name, I had to ask you, I think maybe 3 times.
Yeah. Your
last name, you get asked about all the time.
I do.
Yeah. Threefingers.
Threefingers. It's Native American. When I was a kid and stuff, so much jokes, so much. I hated my last name, but now as an adult, everyone thinks it's interesting. My mom told me it was from, there was a war when like the Native Americans and General Custer were still having their stuff, and someone lost a couple of their fingers and it just ended up sticking all the way down. So
he is actually a warrior chief, Cheyenne warrior chief, Chief Threefingers, and there's an amazing history behind that name. I did some research after you and I met a year ago or so, and it's a fascinating part of history and Native American history, and to have that name now, I can imagine it was probably not fun growing up. Because, I mean, what would kids tell you?
Yeah, I don't even remember. Yeah. I blocked it out already.
But he got old, huh?
Yeah.
He got old. Hey, how much fingers you get?
Yeah, of course.
But now that you understand the significance, there's a sense of responsibility and pride, I bet.
A little bit, I think. Another part of that story, too, is like I never knew my father or anything, so like I have my dad's last name, but my family have a different last name. Their last name is Joins. So, part of me feels like, you probably know more about my last name than I do, in all honesty.
So mom raised you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Mom, for raising a fine young man. I did a little more research about the name. I'm a numbers geek. Stat geek, because the surname Threefingers is unique and rare. Globally, it is held by 1 in 220,834,725 people globally. One person. And if you look at the U.S. numbers, 1 in 15,759,000 and change. 23 people born with that name, and you're one of them. That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And if you go even deeper in the U.S., 17% of the people who live with that name in the U.S. out of the 23 live in Hawaii. 4%. Again, Lance Threefingers, you're one of them. That's unique.
Yeah, when you really break it down.
Yeah.
And think about it. That's pretty interesting.
It's very interesting. Tell me about your childhood, as much as you want to share. And, single parent, mom did a great job. You went to a fine institution, school in Punahou. Tell me about growing up. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I played baseball from like a young age, and my grandparents, mostly my grandpa, he was my coach. So, mom was so awesome to work, take care of me and stuff. But I had like a great family too to help. Like my grandpa was always there for me, almost every day. I had baseball practice, so at least I had other people. Like if I felt lonely, right, or like mom was always working, so she had to. Now that I'm an adult too, I realize like shoot, I don't know how mom did everything. Because it's just hard for me with no kids, right?
Moms are amazing, yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
Mamas are amazing. My mom was a single parent too, and I raised the two of us, my sister and I, worked 3 jobs, to make ends meet, and sent us to 2 very good schools as well. We turned out okay, as did you.
I think so.
Yeah. So thank you, moms out there listening.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a mother's love, and I'm a father. I can say that. We do a good job as dads, but sometimes there's never a replacement for mom.
Yeah.
I will always be mommy. She will always be mommy to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an only child too, so
oh boy,
I was lucky to get.
So
all
you're
of
spoiled.
It. I am. Yeah.
You're mommy's boy.
I am. I think I'm more spoiled now that I'm older.
Yeah.
Than I was younger.
You know why? You appreciate more. You can recognize what sacrifices she made.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel blessed. Like I had an awesome mom. I got a good opportunity to go to a good school. They gave us a lot of financial aid, and I know it was still hard for mom to do so. I'm just thankful that, I had everything that, or more than I feel like most kids got, right?
Would you say she was your hero?
Yeah, for sure. Her, my grandpa, my uncle, now that I'm older too, I think back and I'm like, shoot, I never realized how much all these people did for me to like help me, like, raise me too and teach me things or instill like values for me.
Mom ever tell you, wait till you have your own kids?
Yeah, plenty.
I think that's every
times.
parent says that. Or every child has heard that. And then when you become a parent, I got Kavit on production right now. You ever say that, brother? Yeah. Parents ever told you that? Yeah. Wait till you have your own kids. But you know what? It is a blessing to be a parent, and I know you'll be a fine one once you
I hope so.
go down that road. So what's life for Lance Threefingers now? What's a day like for you?
Okay, so today I woke up maybe around 8 o'clock, a little before 8. I go on Instagram. I spend about an hour doing nothing. And then I start getting ready for work pretty much. And then I started golfing recently. It's very hard, but it's a lot of fun. We went yesterday to Coral Creek, so if I can sneak a day or two in a week of golf, then I'll try.
Your account, what do you call yourselves? Not car salesman, but your account, your executive. What is it called?
Oh no, yeah, I'm a car.
You're a car
salesman.
Yeah. What's that like for you? Is that I know some car salesmen who are just do very well financially. It takes a special person. What's your approach?
I just try to help the customers the way I feel like I would want to be helped. There's like a stigma or maybe like a stereotype for salesmen, I feel like. And I mean, it's not like it's not true for some salespeople, but I try to be just like a regular person or like a human being. And I feel like, the people that will appreciate it hopefully buy this car.
Does your name help?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to keep it a secret, but definitely it's like a conversation starter. Or,
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting name. What kind of ethnicity is that and all that, right?
You know what? It's like use it as an opportunity to create conversation and create a relationship. I cannot and I won't because of we're PBS, so I don't want to say the place where you work, but I can give you a hint. I think Loyal Garner once sang about at where you make the deal.
Oh, yeah.
Where you make the deal. You guys still have that jingle?
I don't see him playing it so much online, but it's still out there, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
That's cool.
It's so catchy.
The late Loyal Garner, she was a special lady, let me tell you. Lance, how old are you, may I ask?
I just turned 25 last month.
25 years young.
Yeah.
Wow. You have your whole life ahead of you, pal. Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting old, though.
Well, you know what? If I could go back to 25 again, maybe I wouldn't. No, I appreciate what the path that was already predetermined, I think, for me. But what do you see the challenges are for a young 25-year-old Hawaiʻi man today? Because what we faced when I was 25, we didn't have social media.
Yeah.
Kalakaua was still one way. Two ways, rather. Two-way street. People used to park on Kalakaua, by the way. I used to go night clubbing.
Really?
At the point after, and you could actually park on Kalakaua Avenue. But what's it like to be a 25-year-old man in Hawaii right now, or even just in society today?
Yeah. Life feels expensive right now. I mean, like the thought of, too, like having a family and getting a house. Man, I don't know how some people can afford that. I mean, it's not like there's not non-affordable things, but I feel like just things cost a bit more as a 25-year-old than maybe they would have been before. But I mean, I feel like I got a lot of opportunities or possibilities, but I also feel like the time is starting to come down on, like, when I was 18, 20, I feel like I could kind of do whatever and things would be okay. I have a little bit more time. And now I'm starting to feel like, my time is starting to come out a little bit less. I got to start moving.
Clock is ticking.
Yeah, basically.
Your clock is ticking. Ever thought about moving away?
I have.
That's sad, but
to the mainland, but I don't know. This is my home. All my family's here. As much as, like, that thought is there, I would love to just stay here, make it work as best as I can. I want my kids to grow up here, and I feel like it's different in the mainland. And we have like some friends that have kids that moved. They say it's different. Like the kids don't play like how they do down here, right, with your neighbors and run down the cul-de-sac. And
it's a real tough decision that 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds are making today. Some even 40, 50-year-olds. That it's the price of paradise that is very real. And you hear about it, just read the paper. Our housing crunch is because of the cost of living and just cost of building homes. As a 25-year-old, I can imagine how daunting that may feel, and scary about the unknown. You think about it?
I try not to too much.
True story.
Try not to stress too much, but I mean, we have friends that are like realtors that will help us, like try to give us advice on like the things we need to start. So it's up to us to like start to get those things ready, because I mean, eventually it's you rent or you just buy a house. Either way, you gotta find a place to live. Your
passion has I guess switched gears, because I knew you at one time you loved cars.
Oh yeah, I mean I still do.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to not spend as much money on my cars. Like I had the sports cars and I wanted to get wheels or all these extra exhaust.
Where did that need for speed come from?
I have no idea. When I was 18, I got a motorcycle right out of high school. Mom was going to kill me. But I don't know. I guess I always had like the adrenaline junkie part in me.
Now you've matured.
A little bit.
Well, good. Yeah. Back in the day when we were younger, a lot of my friends used to go down to the track and legally race, and sometimes illegally, but for the most part, that was a very huge part of us growing up when we were 20-year-olds. Kids now, they don't have that kind of venue to get that out of them, or at least safe, and that's scary because that's a very real issue, and you lived it too, right?
Right. I didn't illegally street race, but I liked watching it a little bit, right? And I feel like whether there's like a place for it or not here, people are still gonna race, if they feel like they want to race. So, yeah, I feel like having a track here definitely would open up to more, or maybe less street racing. But I feel like if there's a track here, I would still be part of going to that and trying to see. I know they have autocross at UH.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way where, some people can go and try to get their adrenaline out, right?
This is totally off subject, but as a young man sitting across from me, what you said it this morning that you jumped on Instagram. What's your feelings on social media?
I don't know. When I was in high school and it was first out, it was the next thing, right? Like everyone's gonna be on social media, and even now it still kind of feels the same. I don't really post too much. I'll post like stories on when I sell cars, but I'm more like I like watching and seeing. But it gets hard too, like when you see all your fellow classmates are doing different things. Or, everyone's taking their different path on like what career they want to go into. But sometimes I think like, what else could I have done, or like what could I be now had I done something different? Would I be in a better position, or
I think that and I'm no longer active on social media, but when I was in the news business, we were kind of mandated to do so.
Yeah.
It was a news gathering tool in some ways to network, but I what you just expressed, I saw a lot of that, and sometimes people post their best, right?
Yeah.
Now you're not going to post too much negative things about your life. I got COVID today. Some people would, but for the most part, it's all positive, right? So,
yeah.
you want to put your best out there, but in reality, you might be really in a dark place. And
even for me, like, I haven't posted in like over a year, maybe 2 years, but sometimes like if I think about it, I'm like, I don't even know what I want to post, like, is this good enough for something, a 2-year mark? So I just go on the reels and watch all the funny stuff.
Yeah. There's good and bad.
Yeah.
That's like they said, the good, bad, and the ugly of social media. And again, depending on, why you go there or what you post or why you post, everybody has their own reason. But it's just moderation and making sure you manage that.
Yeah.
Same like today. The new discussion now for a lot of us is, and it's not new at all, is artificial intelligence. What's your thoughts on AI and the future of, your generation?
It's interesting. It's starting to definitely the last couple years, right? Like come bigger. I know, like a lot of people see like the art stuff, right, with the AI. It's fast. It does it really quick. So I think, I'm not sure what's going to happen because I know there's like regulations they put on it, but definitely it could automate some jobs that take way longer with, regular people. But it's interesting.
That too is daunting and scary when you think about what AI will look like in even 5 years, because the models show that they'll have even access to more information, and that's a scary thought to think that could happen that quickly. We already can prompt AI to say, "Hey, write me a term paper on Threefingers, Chief Threefingers," and they could.
And then they use another AI system to, the teachers use that to find out if the student used AI to write those papers. So it's pretty interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. I've heard some teachers who actually encourage using AI for certain things.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like it's cheating, but it's, I guess, it's how we used to look up encyclopedias and as our source, and this way you're doing the same thing, sort of.
Yeah, essentially.
You just, you eventually, though, you have to put it in your own words, but if you asked it to write a term paper, it probably could.
Yeah. In seconds, right?
Yeah, in seconds. Yeah, but you can read. You can tell what's a robot. What will, I think, although it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to, but I think what AI misses is this, right?
Yeah.
You and I looking at each other eye to eye, and that human touch will never be duplicated by a computer, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I look back at my years as when I was 25, and I think about what you just said. Well, what if I did things differently? And sometimes I say, I regret doing that. But when the truth of the matter is, Lance, I don't regret anything, including the mistakes I've made. I'll ask you, any regrets in your 25 years?
There's a few, I think, out there. I mean, I know everything I've done like to now has made me who I am, but I mean, man, I wish at least now I could have like more money, or maybe I'd be in better shape. But man, I love playing baseball. I played baseball for like 10 years. I got cut when I was a sophomore in high school because I got hurt. And then after that, I lost my hope and I stopped playing. Part of me, I think regrets not trying again. And, I think I really love playing, and I should have tried again. So.
Yeah, that part of me in sports, there's a few things that I wish I had continued. And at the same time, there's a reason for everything.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't meant
exactly
for me to be a baseball player.
Exactly. You mentioned you didn't know Dad.
No.
I hope this is not too personal, but I know it is. Do you want to?
I'm not sure yet. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes those are like the questions I ask myself and I try to figure out. But I mean, for most of my life was a no. Part of me is, I want to learn my history too, about my ancestry, or like how you did some research on my name. I want to know, or at least hear from them too, because I'm sure they have good stories and things for me to learn, right? It's like a whole part of my culture is gone, so that part of me wants to find out. But then the part of me that's, had to see how hard Mom had to struggle, and that part of me is
yeah,
I already got the parents I need, right?
Well said. Very well said. I can tell you now, I had a father, and I actually share his name. He's passed since. But my mom was our hero, right? She raised my sister and I. My father, truthfully, MIA. And like you, I look back at what Mom sacrificed for us, and it was more than I needed. So I apologize if I went in a space that maybe you're not comfortable talking about. But I think when it comes to especially young men with who've grown up in a single parent household, you really have to look at yourself to say, who would I be if I knew Dad? What impact would Dad have had on my life? Or you can say, Mom did good, and I am the man I am today because of her. So I just want to share that with you.
Thanks, Ron.
Well, you'll always have questions about your last name and your culture. I got not news for you, but I want to share with you. It's there. You said you lost it. Lance said it'll always be there. Okay, but sometimes it wasn't meant to be known, if you will. Others, sometimes it takes a while to get there till you want to express and learn. When that happens, you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll know. In the meantime, brother, just keep being you and sharing your positivity. Mom has done very well, and she should be thanked for that, as I know you do. And I just the first time I met you, I felt good juju about you.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you.
You guys say juju these days? They don't. Yeah.
I do.
You do? Okay. Yeah. You know, you were a very positive young man, and I just felt like I knew you. You know, I have Native American in my blood as well, in my koko. I don't know much about it at all. I'd like to. Maybe you and I can go do some research together.
If I find out how to get the the family trees and stuff, then yeah.
It's fascinating what can be learned today.
Yeah.
You know, you may think you're one person, but your history may say otherwise.
Definitely.
You know, I grew up knowing that I had 9 ethnicities, but I don't know much about them. You know, being in Hawaii, that's how we roll, right?
Yeah, everybody's mixed with everything.
Yeah, mixed plate, Hanai, adopted, blah, blah. You know, so we really don't know. But inside our heart, we knew what mattered. And for you, that what mattered was the world that you had in front of you.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts of a young man growing up in Hawaii? I'm going to ask you straight, because I know that I reached out to you and talked about this podcast, but what does PBS mean to you?
I used to watch PBS when I was a kid, right, growing up. I mean, we had like the basic cable, so I mean, I haven't watched too much in recent years, but I mean, I think this is like a great what you guys do for like the community. And then you, Ron, especially knowing you, I mean, yeah, you guys are awesome. It's been great for you guys to have me on. I feel like, you know, I'm just a nobody or a regular person and that's around. So, I mean, this is awesome coming down here and just checking it out. And this place is really nice too. Everyone's been so nice. That's like, welcomed me in and got me water and all this stuff.
Yeah, we're trying to create content that doesn't really. I mean, even the word content is just so foreign to me. We're trying to create interest in programs that matter to Hawaii, and that we can provide as a platform for voice and storytelling, and that's what separates PBS Hawaii from all the other PBS stations. Is that ability to showcase all that we are, the people, the culture, the food, the ethnicities and the diversity of our islands. And I'm sitting across a young man who's got a name that only 4% in living have in America. That's amazing. And I just wanted to say, hey, you have a story to share. Let's hear it.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you. Lance Threefingers. Be proud of your name. Yeah, because you're more than just a name, though. Shakespeare said, "What's in a name?" For you, it's just it's not. It doesn't only define you, because it doesn't define you. You define you. Okay. I feel like I've been preaching to you this whole time.
I appreciate everything. I'm just trying to take it all in.
Soak it up, brother. Yep. Soak it up. That's one thing that you will always benefit from, is just sometimes listening to kupuna. Yeah, I have left uncle status. I have officially arrived at kupuna. All right, Lance, take care of yourself.
Thanks, Ron.
And we'll see you soon. And folks, thanks for joining us. Something a little different today on What's School You Went. But mahalo for joining us. Join us next week, another episode of What's School You Went. Until then, ahui ho.
What School You Went is a PBS Hawaii production. Music by Taimane Gardner. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and tell your friends. You can find us on pbshawaii.org and everywhere you get your podcasts.